right, we are back after a few days off. Hope you had a good 4th of July weekend, everyone. It's 21 News Chief Meteorologist Eric Wilhelm, weather for Weather Geeks time. It's the Valley's most detailed, geeky weather forecast video. We finally had something to talk about today other than the heat. And while the heat was a story, also a story today, the rain. We had a little too much at one time in some spots, but as of this recording at about 6:21 in the evening, we're still seeing some rain, some beneficial rains mostly south of 224 at this point. It's raining at a decent clip in Columbiana County, where we have a few flashes of lightning still out there this evening. This all evolved right on schedule early this afternoon, and some bouts of pretty heavy rain accompanied by a pretty vivid lightning show in parts of our area by mid-afternoon. Now, earlier we had a flash flood warning out for parts of southwestern Trumbull County, where right around Newton Falls and right near the Portage Trumbull line, 2 inches or so fell in a pretty short amount of time. Still have a flood advisory out for another couple of minutes in western Mahoning County. Now around Sebring, there's some radar estimates here of 3 inches or so worth of rain. I have not seen a lot of ground truth on that, but the radar estimates are indeed pretty impressive with this. The other thing we did have, we didn't have a lot of true severe weather in most of our area today, meaning wind and hail problems. We did have some hail here and there, but I did want to show you actually right around 3 o'clock. Let me try to pull this up for you real quickly here. We did have an area of wind that impacted parts of northern Trumbull County. Let me actually zoom in on this. I've seen some pictures of some tree damage from Gustavus on east towards Kinsman. Notice the brighter reds pushing through here around 3 o'clock. Yeah, this might have been a little microburst, not a tornado or anything, but there might have been some pretty decent winds with this right around 3 o'clock this afternoon in northern Trumbull County. And yeah, we had some scattering, I should say, of relatively small hail. The hail was a little bigger down towards New Philly, and then again over towards Pittsburgh. Any small hailstones mixed in with the rain in our area were all pretty conversational size hail, nothing that was too much of a big deal. All right, this is a hot day in weather history. On the calendar on today's date, back in 1988, 100 degrees. We hit 100 twice back in July of 1988. This was the first time. The second time was around the 18th, I think. Also on today's date, back in 2012, the last time we had a really hot July, on par almost with 1988. 2012, we hit 98 on today's date. And interestingly, today we did hit 93 officially at the airport, ending our streak of almost exactly 8 years of the temperature not getting above 92 at the Youngstown Warren Airport. That's a record I've kind of been joking about for a long time now. We've hit 92 many, many times, but the airport thermometer refused to go to 93 until today. And actually, that came pretty early in the afternoon. That 93 was hit at like 12:30 this afternoon. It really warmed up fast this morning. And then once it started to cloud up and we got the rain, temperatures, of course, did back off. In the meantime, after days of hot but not necessarily all that humid kind of weather, today it got muggy. Dew points mid-60s for a lot of the day, even upper 60s as we've transitioned into this evening. Temperatures as of this recording have cooled. This is rain-cooled air, so no more 90s. It's generally mostly in the 70s. With those elevated dew points, you know temperatures are not going to fall very fast tonight. All right, so we did 93 today. Making it day 3 of 90-plus temperatures, making it an official heat wave. We barely missed 5 in a row because Saturday, for some reason, it only got to 88 at the airport. It really should have been a little bit warmer Saturday, but the airport thermometer can be a little fickle, it seems, sometimes. Yeah, it's, of course, been generally hot since last week, but officially a heat wave was, that threshold was reached today, and we're going to continue adding to that heat wave over the next handful of days. So, 6 consecutive, not consecutive, but 6 total 90-degree days now in 2020 for our area. Last year we had 11. The average is 8. We'll reach that average before this week is through. 18 back in that hot summer of 2012. 18 also back in 2018. But again, in 2018, while we hit 91 or 92 a bunch of times, it never got above 92 back in 2018. All right. Rain chances are lower tomorrow compared to today, but it's something I can't rule out as we get into the afternoon. A stray shower or a storm, the coverage is going to be much less than this afternoon. It's going to be stinking hot tomorrow. Same thing on Thursday. Real hot, muggy, small chance of a shower or storm in the afternoon. I think the rain chances get a little bit higher again by Friday. We're going to miss this East Coast low pressure system, But this weak front pushes in, and I think that'll kick up a few more showers and storms Friday afternoon than we'll have tomorrow and Thursday. All right, so 3 more days of this, where the temperatures get into the 90s, the dew points are elevated, heat index values may not reach heat advisory criteria, which for our area is generally 100 or above. The heat index may be mostly below that, but still really hot next 3 days. Now, the heat gets trimmed this weekend. It stays muggy this weekend. That weak little front will at least trim the heat back some. So we won't see the 90s this weekend. And so heat index values will be pretty close to the air temperatures. Now, this is kind of a 3 or 4 day little break from the extreme heat. We'll be in the 80s over the weekend into early next week. But I'll tell you, I think the heat's coming back with a vengeance second half of next week. We are not done with the 90s by any stretch. In fact, we might see mid-90s again at the end of next week. Notice by Thursday and Friday of next week, so this is day 9 and 10 of the forecast, we're way above average, and we're at our climatological peak right now as far as averages go. Our average is 82 for the next 10 days. We're going to be mostly, if not totally, above that each of the next 10 days, and maybe way above it again by the end of next week. Also, don't expect a lot of days like we had today with beneficial rains. Generally speaking, not a tremendously rainy pattern as we go through the medium range, so the 6 to 10 day outlook kind of highlights that, showing pretty decent odds of a drier than average stretch. Thank you for tuning in to Weather for Weather Geeks this evening. We'll have much more on the coming heat and rain chances and everything else you need to know in future editions of Weather for Weather Geeks this week. In the meantime, have a great rest of your Tuesday night.